does battling crime, van life, cyberpunk, retro malls, modern monarchy have in common? Well, these interesting themes are all being considered for future Sims 4 expansion packs. Honestly, when I saw this survey link, it kind of was like a fever dream at number one because I'm really tired today, and number two because these themes don't seem super realistic for Sims 4. But supposedly they are going to be modernizing and updating the engine, so let's hope for the best. Thanks to Jack of All Games, and whoever tagged me, I apologize, I forget, but I didn't know actually about the survey until I saw this on Twitter. Now, before we get into these survey ideas and themes, I will be showing you some visual concepts just because I find that more interesting to kind of imagine what this could look like. So this part that I didn't get says an option to build a world or a neighborhood. That is important to keep in mind for so many reasons. Number one, this is adding more and more to my theory that maybe they're actually going to do something about Sims 4 worlds, having more flexibility in the worlds, because let's be honest, Sims 4 worlds are not very flexible right now. Now, this is a full list of the themes I was able to choose from. I will be zooming in on each one, so don't worry. And at the end, we're also going to be talking about some questions asking about motivation to play Sims 4. The first one is, shape your Sims' fate in a gritty city. Will they become criminals? Will they fight for justice or play both sides? Navigate from a small time pocketing to high stakes heists, and decide your path in a world full of shady deals and intense stakeouts. The next one is, customize your travel van and live on the road. Explore picturesque destinations, trade with the locals, and work your mechanic skills. Prepare for your retirement in expanded elder adventures. Of course, I will be giving credit to all these creators. I just wanted to kind of envision this. This world is actually based on New York City, but I just wanted some visuals as I was talking about this. So this one is probably the least surprising, honestly, of all the ideas. Now, I will say I don't know how I can envision this in Sims 4. Number one, of course, they need to stay within the teen rating, and I do think more world flexibility would be fantastic. Honestly, this sounds the best for an open world environment, which I don't really think is going to happen in Sims 4. Adding a little bit of drama and high stakes to the game is very interesting in a very different direction than Sims 4 usually goes. Of course, what the stakes actually would be, I don't know. I don't really know how this would function. You can let me know what you think about this theme in the comments below. There's also a van life, and I'm assuming they just figured this was popular on social media at some point, so they decided to go along with this theme. Keep in mind, these are all expansion packs, which is some points some people brought up that they felt that some of these sounded more like game packs. But it is possible, as I've said before, that they have downgraded expansion packs and we're getting kind of game pack category territory. But of course, this has been a debate since Sims 4 launched game packs in the first place. What's curious is they have van life and they're coupling it with elder activities. Now, I can see this as a retirement theme. We are getting a life and death expansion pack this October. Now, I can see how this might appeal to some people. I think that van life, you could get some really interesting build buy items, mostly. Again, I don't know how it's going to work. Are they going to completely change how we travel in Sims 4? Or are we just going to still have the regular loading screens with the cell phone? Again, I have some doubts they're going to transform The Sims 4 to an open world environment, and this is yet another theme though I think would be best for that. The next one is actually one I myself recommended a while ago, and it's about cyberpunk theme. Transport your Sims to a neon lit cyberpunk future where you can enhance the human or robot lives with cutting edge technology, explore gritty careers, whatever that means, and navigate complex relationships between Sims and robots in a whimsical dystopian world. Now, honestly, this isn't that new. The third Sims game, Into the Future, did have a lot of these themes, but I do think that the cyberpunk aesthetic, which is mostly what I was advocating for, not inherently just the gameplay, could be an interesting change for Sims 4. The second one is dive into a vibrant ocean world and explore hidden treasures. Meet marine life, build your seaside dream, and sail between charming coastal towns. That's right, sail between towns. Every dive and voyage offers new discoveries. Now, this is just kind of a mock-up that someone created of a cyberpunk world. It looks like this person is no longer active on socials. I have no doubt that this world would look pretty awesome, and I have no doubt that there would be some awesome build buy. I notice I'm talking a lot about the world, the set dressing, and the build buy. Honestly, with all this, I just don't know what I think about the gameplay. This is something that I'm not sure what direction they would take. But like I said, this one actually does arguably have some precedent, and I do think this has the potential for just shaking things up and feeling fresh fresh and different than a lot of the Sims 4 packs we have. This obviously could be any kind of coastal town. I do want sailing, I've always wanted sailing, but I don't know again about all this and how it's going to come together. It does say though explore the ocean world, so I know one of the biggest disappointments with island living for people was we weren't really able to explore as fully as possible, especially underwater. And again, this is where I'm thinking, are they really going to make the worlds more flexible to achieve some of these things? Because if I imagine this in, say, a more flexible environment, yes, I could see lots of potential here too. But again, this is kind of vague, so I don't really know what to think about this one. I think it has potential, but it would definitely have to bring a lot of novel gameplay. I'll be real with you, the next two concepts make me feel a little bit old, because apparently I am retro. So it says, step into a lively 80s/90s retro world in a bustling mall setting, enjoying classic throwback activities and unique storylines that reimagine the era with nostalgic charm and unforgettable drama. And in fact, we actually had a survey before, I think it was the iconic 2020 survey, that also had the mall concept. And I'm expecting they will do it eventually. I was born during the 90s, so I didn't really experience any of the 80s myself. I actually do currently still have a mall near me that I go to in person sometimes. I know, shocker. And I know a lot of people say all the malls near them are dead, but I think this could be interesting, and we're gonna get in later in the survey, we're gonna get a more detailed description of this. The second one, create an adventure-filled sleepaway camp where kids discover new hobbies, uncover camp secrets, and forge lifelong friendships, all while exploring beaches, lakes, and rivers. This was a speed build of a mall, and I thought it was really clever. They even had like an arcade in there. So for me, the mall, yes, I like some of the retro elements to it, but also it just depends on which way they go and what they actually include. I hope that it would be highly customizable and you could even build your own. What I'd want as a base game update, of course, is multifunctional lots, which I think could be a huge asset in Sims 4. You can also see an overview of the mall right here, and like I said, links to all these creators will be in the comments below. I think the world of them. I think people are just so talented, I could never relate. Summer camp, I think, is something that would appeal to a fair amount of people. I'm definitely not anti-summer camp. I think it would be fun. This is one that I strongly still, again, I'm thinking a lot of these do seem more game pack in nature, but we take that discourse aside. I guess, again, the question would be, what kind of new activities are we adding? Are we actually adding meaningful additions to the game? Lifelong friendships sounded interesting. There is also going to be an argument that this could have been a refresh of Outdoor Retreat. Granted, it probably wouldn't be as extensive nature, but honestly, I do understand some of those arguments one way or the other. Once again, this is one of those packs I could see a ton of potential for just having different storylines set up, maybe build by, maybe a little less of build by actually, because looking at this, we already really have that aesthetic unless they go a completely different way. Yes, I think adding hobbies and activities would be fun. This just kind of sounds like a fun pack to me, not really dramatically life-changing, but not a terrible idea. However, these next ones are where we get really interesting in my opinion. So we get number one, experience a modern monarchy. That's right, modern monarchy, which is actually what I predicted they might do instead of what a lot of people I saw asking for, at least on socials. So it says you'll build your legacy through grand estates, political intrigue, and luxurious fashion. Rise from commoner to ruler, forge alliances, and navigate royal rivalries. And navigate conflict in a culturally rich, high-stakes drama of power, influence, and exclusive living. I'll be real here, this is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, in that I feel like some of these sound like game packs, and this sounds like a full spin-off game. Maybe that's just drilled into me because of Sims Medieval existing, etc. I also assume there's going to be a lot of different opinions about modern monarchy. However, I will say in Sims 4, if it's not modern monarchy, it would have to be in its own world, traverse an uncharted extreme environment where civilization has collapsed and nature has reclaimed the remnants of a once great city. Your sim must adapt to survive and work together to thrive. And the last one here, journey for your sims through an adventurous exploration of coastal landscapes to discover historic and marine fossils. They also talk about conservation and adventure skills. Now, I feel like we get bits of this with both jungle adventure and island living, with the general adventure theme and collecting things, and also, of course, conservation. For the devastation of the world kind of theme, I know people have pretty strong opinions one way or the other, but this could be where they added zombies or something like that if they chose to. If you select the top two you're most interested in, they will give you a more detailed description. So one of the ones I picked just for the heck of it and just out of curiosity was the mall. Dive into a vibrant 80s, 90s retro world with bustling mall venues and freelance careers. Hang out at the arcade, comic book store, game board cafe, and ramen shop. Enjoy classic activities like tabletop role-playing games, landline phones, and rollerblading. Be a babysitter, deliver newspapers, or be the beloved lifeguard at a community pool. Have a blast on the water slide and drink from the hose while reliving this vintage era. When I saw this, I actually thought I liked it a lot more, and you actually get a chance to say if you're more or less interested after reading the full description. So as a disclaimer, actually two disclaimers, all those descriptions before were abbreviated. However, it does say they have a right to pick and choose from the description. In other words, they might only add some of these elements to the pack. And honestly, I like the disclaimer because let's be honest, that's usually how it goes. Honestly, the next part is not that exciting. It just asks about your motivations to play Sims 4, and it basically asks what do you do most game, whether that's family gameplay, playing with supernaturals, working on skills, building, etc. They also asked about thinking about expansion packs, what must a pack include for you to buy it? Adds to the existing gameplay systems, new ways to design and decorate spaces, adds new careers. They even have a goofy one that says new clothing. When in the world have we gotten a pack without new clothing? I don't know. I do think this is good to ask though, if they actually use it. For me, it would be most about adding to existing gameplay systems, expanding gameplay overall. Keep in mind you can only select a few of these, so you have to kind of choose between some of these things. Obviously, a lot of these are important to me. They also asked how interested we are in expanding these different life stages. You have child Sims, teen Sims, and elder Sims. Personally, while I think any of these life stages could use some more content, I would vote for elders first. I know a lot of people don't play with elders, but I think they are the most neglected in The Sims 4. All in all, a very interesting survey in a very busy week for Sims 4. I like talking about this more because I don't even frankly want to think about the whole thing with Sims 5 not happening and all the chaos that is going on. Obviously, I am not as enthusiastic about these themes as I would be if I hadn't gotten the other news this week, but I do appreciate them thinking outside of the box and very interested to see if they can actually execute some of these themes. Let me know what you would vote for in the comments below. Be sure to take the survey. I will supply the link. As always, please take care, and I'll see you in the next one.